testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. Should I say hello or howdy?
Definitely hello.
Definitely hello. Hello, my name is Lloyd Armbrust, and I'd like your help bringing strategic manufacturing back to America. You know, it might surprise you to find that most surgical masks are not made in giant, gleaming, state-of-the-art factories. Instead, they are produced manually, one at a time, using low-paid labor to maximize profits. When the coronavirus hit Wuhan, China, officials there chose to keep it a secret, knowing that their own production and supply would be impossible for a short time. Instead of warning the world, they hoarded masks. Impressively, it was the Chinese people, their ingenuity and strength, that came together to build hospitals in 11 days, to create a system that crushed the coronavirus quickly. And when it was over, it was that same impressive prowess that sprang into action to stand up new Chinese factories, producing PPE in the billions, profiting from America's lack of preparation, profiting from our inability to protect our own people, profiting from our lack of strategic supply. Now that we can see what happened, Americans are angry. We're supposed to be the world's superpower. We're supposed to be prepared for anything. But truthfully, I think we're really mad because China out-America'd us. I mean, we're the innovators and we used to be the builders. But in a quest for corporate profits, we outsourced that ability. And with it, we outsourced our builder spirit. We've given away our innovation for a few percentage points of revenue. And the only solution to this is to bring strategic manufacturing back to the United States. At Armbrust American, we've already started the process by focusing on what America needs most. Located near Austin, Texas, our automated assembly lines are ramping up to produce millions of surgical masks per day. You know, it's estimated that more than half of Chinese masks are made in a non-sterile environment. But making masks in America means making masks with American standards. This means a standard of quality in our own production, backed by a standard of certification. But it also means building in a way that doesn't destroy our environment. It means building factories that keep workers safe. It means paying employees a living wage. There was a real environmental and human cost that came with overseas productions. Humans that were underpaid and forced to work in inhuman conditions, requiring complicated logistics that burned unnecessary fuel for products that can easily be made within our shores today. Now, automation is a great way to start addressing this issue, but it's not enough, because China also controls so much of the manufacturing supply chain. Now, with masks specifically, China produces the majority of this special filter material that surgical masks need to block 95% of bacteria. This fabric is made through a special melt-blown process, where polypropylene is melted and blown onto a large roller. By building our own melt-blown production lines here in the United States, we can produce everything end-to-end. Now, by combining automation with vertical integration, we can make the cheapest and most effective masks in the world, right here in Texas. From pellets to pallets, we can turn 1 ton of raw, American-made virgin polypropylene that costs about $1,000 into 1 million surgical or N95 masks, and we can do it in less than 1 day. With the coronavirus, the mask industry is expected to grow by 1,000% in the United States and stay strong for the next 18 months. And at scale, our automated approach unlocks better and cheaper masks made here in Texas than we ever got in China, even before the pandemic. So why aren't other people doing this? Well, existing producers are too big and slaves to their own corporate profit. And the proof is in their actions. When faced with a global mask shortage, they chose to ramp up production in China rather than invest here. And in the 6 months it took 3M to strike a deal with the U.S. government to double production, we designed, built, and implemented a vertically integrated approach that is faster and cheaper than anything the big guys are doing. The truth is, these lumbering giants are tied to the past, unable to move quickly, and slaves to the global supply chain nightmare of their own creation. Okay, but who the hell are we anyways, and what makes us qualified to solve this complicated issue? Well, this is my dad, and this is me. And I grew up in a manufacturing family. My dad was born exactly 1 year and a day after Black Tuesday, so you could say he was a literal product of the Great Depression. He was happy to join the war effort because, in his words, he got 3 square meals a day. And when he came back from the war, he went to work, eventually landing a job at a lime plant. That's where he would work his way up to becoming plant manager before he retired. Almost every day I'd visit as a child, looking up to my dad and wanting to be just like him. But the United States I grew up in was different than the country my dad knew. During the war, my hometown of Duluth, Minnesota grew to a population of 250,000, with most people working in manufacturing and production. I grew up seeing a giant shift in the wrong direction, with my town shrinking to less than 70,000 people, with hardly any manufacturing companies left to join. I had to leave. So I moved to Texas and started my own company. It was a software startup. We got accepted into Y Combinator, raised money, and grew the business to $11 million annually. And when the coronavirus hit China, I had just bought up my investors, and for the second time in my life, I felt a shift happening in the world. And that feeling was coming from a voice in the back of my head, my dad's voice. And he was saying, America needs its own manufacturing. In early January, I sprang into action, reaching into my manufacturing past. I contracted a company that was already building a brand new automated assembly line for mass production, and I worked with them to customize it and import it into the United States. I raised $5 million to install the machines and set up a clean room. I built a local team here in Texas to handle production. I brought in experts in manufacturing, global supply, public health, high-speed production, and mechanical engineering to make everything work together. And after all this, all the blood, sweat, and tears, I'm happy to say that we are making millions of surgical masks right here in Texas. So let's take a look at the unit economics. In pre-COVID life, masks sold for about 15 cents a piece. And when we launched in late May, we sold over 1 million in a week at 50 cents a piece. Today, we have government agencies, hospitals, restaurants, and individuals lining up to buy, with over 300 million in pre-orders. Now, we are ready to expand to the next phase, and I need your help to get there. We are rapidly expanding our factory, working with state and national governments to build what America needs next. Remember, masks are just the beginning for us. With the same machines we have, we can make isolation gowns, surgical gowns, disposable coveralls, shoe covers, and surgical caps. We can even make air filters, oil spill treatment products, and baby diapers. Yes, baby diapers. Something at least I will probably always need. I have 5 kids. You know, in a uniquely political American way, we didn't prepare for this. But this is America. We don't need a bailout or donations. We need innovation. We need hard work, and we need passionate builders. We need the finest quality and the most effective materials. We need full supply chain control. We need independence from other countries. We need made in America, made in Texas. And for me, I'd like to build a future for my children, one that would make Dad proud.